All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
It's great to be back.
So have you ever worked on a spreadsheet and felt like you were just drowning in data?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like just so much stuff to edit, and it just feels so manual, and you're thinking, ugh, there has to be a better way to do this.
Yeah, especially when deadlines are looming.
Exactly. Well, today we're going to dive into something that's going to be a lifesaver for anyone who works with spreadsheets, pretty much anyone in the business world.
For sure.
We're talking about the find and replace function.
Good old Ctrl plus H.
That's right, Ctrl plus H. I feel like this is one of those things that people maybe know about, but maybe don't really use to its full potential.
Right. They might use it for like basic stuff, but they don't realize all the power it has.
Yeah, it really is powerful and can save you so much time.
Absolutely, especially if you're someone who's, dealing with massive data sets or doing a lot of data cleaning and manipulation.
Oh, yeah.
It's indispensable.
So let's break it down a little bit for anyone who might be new to spreadsheets or just wants a refresher. I mean, basically, we're talking about those giant grids, right, with all those cells.
Right. Think of it as like a giant table where every little box, every cell holds a piece of data.
And you can have a whole collection of these sheets, a whole workbook.
Yeah. And that's where Cryo plus H really becomes a game changer.
So what exactly does Cryo plus H do?
Well, in simple terms, it lets you find specific data within your workbook
Okay.
and replace it with something else. So it could be a number, it could be text, a symbol, anything really.
So instead of going through and manually changing every single instance of something,
Exactly. You can tell it, hey, find all of this and replace it with that, and it just does it instantly across the entire workbook.
I like to think of it as like having a super efficient assistant who can just make all these changes for you in a flash.
Yeah, a really fast assistant. And it's not just about, changing one specific thing. You can use wildcards and all sorts of other options to get really specific with your searches.
We'll get into those in a bit. Those options are really where things get interesting.
Definitely.
But first, I think it's helpful to have a real-world example. So imagine you have a spreadsheet, like a big financial report, and it has the word sales all over it.
Hundreds of cells, maybe even thousands.
Exactly. But then your company decides to change the terminology and wants to use revenue instead of sales.
Oh boy, without Spriddle plus H, that would be a nightmare.
It would be. So what would you do if you had this magical shortcut at your fingertips?
Easy. I'd press Spriddle plus H to open up the Find and Replace dialog box.
Okay, got it.
Then in the Find What field, I'd type sales. And in the Replace With field, I'd type revenue.
So just like that, you're telling the spreadsheet, find all the sales and switch into revenue.
Exactly.
And instead of spending hours, clicking through each cell and typing it all in,
Right, and potentially making mistakes along the way.
you can make this huge change across your entire spreadsheet in a matter of seconds.
It's a huge time saver. And think about the accuracy. You're eliminating the risk of human error, those little typos that can really mess things up.
Right, that's a really good point. So speed and accuracy, those are two big wins right there.
Absolutely. But like with any powerful tool, there's always a need for caution.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, you don't want to just blindly replace everything without double checking, right? You might accidentally replace something you didn't intend to.
Right, that makes sense.
So here's a pro tip. Before you hit that Replace All button,
Like,
click on the Find All button first.
what does that do?
It basically shows you a preview of all the occurrences of the term you're searching for.
So you can actually see where it's finding those words or numbers?
Exactly. And that way, you can make sure that you're only replacing the specific instances that you want.
That's a great safeguard. It's like having a little safety net.
For sure, it's always better to be safe than sorry,
What?
especially when you're dealing with important data.
So find all is definitely a feature we should all be using. And I know you mentioned earlier that there are even more options we can use to refine our searches even further.
Oh, yeah. The options feature is where things get really interesting. It gives you a ton of control over your search. For example, you can choose to match the case of the text.
So like if you're searching for apple with a capital A, it won't find apple with a lowercase a.
Exactly. Or you can search for whole words only, so it won't find parts of words.
Okay, I see. So if you're looking for cat, it won't find catch or scat.
Precisely. And then there are wildcards, which are like placeholders for any character or group of characters.
Wildcards. Okay, I'm intrigued. How do those work?
Well, let's say you want to find all the cells that contain the word apple, followed by anything.
Okay.
You could type apple in the Find What field, with the asterisk acting as the wildcard.
Hmm.
And it would find apple, apples, apple pie, anything that starts with apple.
So it's like a way of finding patterns within your data.
Exactly. It's super useful for finding variations of a word or even for cleaning up data that might have inconsistencies.
That's really cool. It's like you're speaking a secret language to the spreadsheet.
Kind of. And for those who are comfortable with formulas, you can combine Sritrol plus H with functions to achieve even more dynamic replacements. Like imagine automatically updating prices across your spreadsheet based on a percentage change.
Wow. Okay. So we've talked about how to use it, but why is it so important to actually master this shortcut? I mean, it's more than just saving time, right?
It's about working smarter, not harder.
I like that.
It's about freeing yourself from the mundane and repetitive tasks so you can focus on the things that really matter.
Like actually analyzing the data and making informed decisions.
Exactly. You don't want to be spending all your time on manual updates. You want to be using that time for strategic thinking, problem solving, the things that add real value to your work.
It's like the difference between, spending all day sharpening pencils versus actually writing the book.
I love that analogy.
So what are some other examples of how this could be applied in different fields?
Oh, the possibilities are endless. In finance, you can use it to clean up imported data, like replacing inconsistent currency symbols.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or in marketing, you could update campaign tags across multiple spreadsheets in an instant.
That's so much faster than doing it manually.
Right. And it's not just limited to business. You could use it for anything, like if you're a teacher grading papers or a researcher analyzing data.
Wow, it really is a versatile tool. So I guess the takeaway here is that Stageroll plus H is more than just a shortcut. It's like a gateway to a whole new way of working.
It's about becoming a power user, taking control of your data and working more efficiently.
Right, so for everyone listening out there, next time you find yourself facing a mountain of spreadsheet data,
Don't despair.
remember, Secrol plus H. It's your secret weapon for conquering spreadsheets with speed, accuracy, and even a touch of elegance.
And it might just free up your time and mental energy for more important things.
It's great advice. And with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Until next time.
See you then.